Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's just finished. West Ham United 3, Sheff United 0. The Hammers go 4th in the Premier League for about 2 hours. But we're 4th again in the Premier League. Gonzo, we'll talk about this in a second. But it took us 2 minutes for the first bit of action. We got our first pen of the season. Then we didn't have the first pen of the season.
Oh, absolutely. He was warming up. He was primed, oiling himself up, Declan Rice, getting the ball ready, getting it sanitised, placing it down, only to be stolen away by the guy that won us the penalty, Craig Dawson, because he did dare put half an armpit offside. Of course, actually, to be fair, it was a pen and it was offside, so we can't have too many complaints. But I felt at that point, we were asked a question in the build-up, Geo. Who takes the penalties for West Ham should we ever get one? We had our answer right then, or did we?
There's someone trying to dispute that answer later on. But before we get to that, we've got a pen in the 41st minute. But for the first 40 minutes, what were you thinking?
Didn't really have any control of the midfield. I felt very poor technique from Souček in that first half. I felt he was really struggling to get into the game. Rice wasn't really featuring very much in the game either. And but I never felt. Well, actually, I was going to say I never felt Sheff United were going to get into the game apart from Fabianski's flap. He had a massive flap, if you pardon the expression, and so that was a little bit of worry. I was a bit worried about the also the passing technique of Diop as well. He was really struggling just to find a teammate, and him and Soufal were sort of struggling to form a partnership there. So I thought it sort of lacked cohesion. It was a little bit muddled, if you like. But I did also think that when we did counter-attack, I quite liked the three, actually. I quite liked what they were doing, the three that he'd put up front there, or whatever positions they might have been in. So I was thinking, actually, if we can just get a little bit more of the ball, get control of that midfield area, I was quite certain that we would cause them problems.
I thought we looked decent in the first half. I was quite happy with what we saw. We were conceding a little bit of possession and a little bit of space down our right. Sheff United clearly sort of looked at their left channel as an area of our weakness, getting in between sort of Soufal and Diop. They kept coming down there. But I felt like whenever they got the ball there, they weren't really doing anything with it. We were quite comfortable with it. And I thought, well, you just keep focusing in your attempts to come down that side because we know what you're going to do now. You've just shown us your game plan. We're quite comfortable with it. Happy days. I thought going forward, I thought our front three looked really good. I thought Lanzini was getting on the pitch really quickly and they were going together in a front three. And when I decided to build up to you, I said, what I want to see from this lot is I want a narrow front three. And in the first half, I was delighted to see how close and tangent they were. Whenever they attacked, there was never more than 15 yards between the one on the left and one on the right. Plus, there was someone through the middle of them. I thought the link-up between them three going forward was really promising. I thought at times looked a bit sloppy. Lanzini was a bit sloppy. I thought Souček was a bit sloppy. I think Soufal was a little bit sloppy at times. I thought Johnson was a little bit hesitant, but that's because he's right-footed playing on the left. It's quite difficult in order to do that. But generally, overall, I thought we were playing quite good. I thought Sheff Utd were playing quite good as well, actually. I thought both teams were playing all right. It was a decent game to watch. But we did get another penalty, Gonzo. Good break by West Ham. Really good counter-attacking football. Good break. Jared Bowen, we criticised him a lot for not playing the early pass. He plays the perfect pass into Jesse Lingard. Chris Bashan wipes him out. Penalty. And a little dispute over who gets to take it.
Yeah, I never want to see that again, I've got to say. That could only be detrimental. And we've got to say fair play to Declan Rice, but not only having a technique to finish that, but having the ability to get a clarity of mind, to be able to clear his head, to be able to concentrate after that, because that did nobody any favours at all. So I hope I'd never see that again. But I love the fact that all the three of them were involved in the build-up to that, as well as Lanzini, as I believe, to Bowen. You say early ball, terrible touch by Lingard, but it actually benefited him in the end because I don't think, Basham bashed him, he really did. So he absolutely wiped him out. And it was really the catalyst, I felt then, to tie everything together. Once we got that first goal, I thought we then stepped up to another level. I felt that all those bits and pieces that I said about the sort of, I thought Souček started to come into the game. I thought Diop went from being clumsy and unable to control the ball to actually started to be commanding and very clever as well, Geo. The way actually the ability to win a foul was very, very good. It's something that we see Ogbonna do quite a lot, which is just get his body inside the ball between the player and the ball and fall over and then get the foul, but identify when the opposition are having a dangerous attack. So all the areas of the pitch that were concerning me started to then flourish, and then just as the game went on, particularly at that point, I thought Bowen was doing a great job actually up there. I think we had our answer there of what Moyes wanted to do with this three. I thought Lanzini was travelling really well with the ball and also finding some long passes, and then just Lingard's, I think, the winning of the penalty enabled him to really grow into the game, which we'll get onto in a minute.
Yeah, a bit awkward one for that penalty. I can see why Jesse Lingard wants to take it. He probably felt he was ready to score a goal, and all of a sudden he got wiped out from the defender that he ran past. So I can see why Lingard felt, I'll have this. But I think it's good to see Declan Rice sort of be authoritative and say, hang on a minute, no, mate, I'm the designated penalty here. And it's not, you do worry that if you were to sort of allow Lingard to do that, it's sort of, is it an ego thing? Is it Jesse Lingard saying, well, I'm from Man United, I should be taking this? I don't think it is. I actually think it's just a case of, I won the pen, I was a way to score, I want to take it, I want to score the goal. But it's good from Rice. It does put a bit more pressure on Declan, but I think it's important that he said, no, sorry, Jesse, you're not the penalty taker, I'm the penalty taker. It'd been easy for Declan to say, all right, you take it then. But at the same time, if Rice had missed that pen, he would have got hounded, everybody would have been reviewing it, saying, well, why didn't you let Jesse Lingard take it? So it was a very unnecessary thing from Jesse, but I think it was the right thing for Declan to do. Fantastic penalty as well, great, really good technique, superb, 1-0 up, and it just, from then on, you thought, we'll be all right now. I thought we were playing quite well, I thought we were just edging it without being fantastic. Once we got that goal, any nerves I had was gone, really. I felt quite comfortable watching the whole first half. But at half-time, it was 1-0. And then going to the second half, we didn't have to wait too much longer for a second goal. 13 minutes into the second half, ball in for Man and Cresswell. Boom.
Well, they almost made it 1-1. That's Fabianski. Almost straight away, Fabianski did a wonderful, wonderful save. And then we got that corner. Great delivery. And it must be a nightmare to... Look, the stats are consistent. This is not some whim, some fluke after a couple of games in the season. This is now, I guess, getting towards 2/3 of the season, or whatever the case may be, of us being the most efficient team from set pieces in the league. And it almost doesn't matter. It didn't matter beforehand. Then Craig Dawson came in. He started scoring them. Now Bonner's gone out of the team. Diop comes in. We know what Diop will score from a corner as well. Lovely delivery from Cresswell, and a really lovely directed header as well from Diop. And I mean, I say in dreamland, but I mean, you shouldn't really be in dreamland by beating Sheffield United. But I just felt it was just what we needed, and to actually sit back then and really enjoy the remainder of that game from a position of being 2-0 up was wonderful. I absolutely loved it, mate.
Thank you to Alan for chucking £2 in the full-time fund. Says, do you think Moyes will see the opposite future? We're not going to answer that, Alan. We're going to stick to the game, and then on Wednesday we've got a cup of tea. I've wrote it down. We'll deal with it then, but I just didn't want to not say thank you for your chucking a couple of quid in. Yeah, it was 2-0, and then fantastic goal as well. Really good header, and it's good because I thought we've been a bit iffy with our set pieces over the last few games. We kept playing them short. We kept, we were shooting at free kicks we shouldn't have been shooting at and stuff. And I thought, oh, come on, I want to see something. And tonight we saw it. Bam, fantastic delivery by Cresswell. Really good header by Diop as well. And as soon as it was 2-0, I was like, right, game, set, and match. I mean, David Moyes obviously thought that as well, because not long after he does his first substitute of the game by taking Martin Noble on for Lanzini, which sort of split opinion on social media a little bit, that substitute. But what do you make of A, the sub, and B, Lanzini's performance?
Well, Lanzini was really good, and Mark Noble came on and played well. So I wasn't on social media, so I didn't see. But look, it's not for me to say anything anymore. But surely at some point, people have got to stop criticising everything that's going on at the club at the moment. I mean, we were 2-0 up. Moyes could do what he wants at that point. Look, was he seeing the game out? I guess maybe that was what people were saying. But I thought Noble played really well. But I thought Lanzini was really good. I was so pleased to see it. I was really pleased to see how Moyes and Nolan dealt with him when he came off the pitch, and they were clearly really pleased with what he'd done. I thought when Noble came on, Noble sat the deepest of the midfielders. I thought it allowed Souček to push up a little bit more as well. So whilst it might be seen as a defensive move, it probably was, solidifying things up. But why not? Why not? Because the thing is, it's almost like you move on to another criticism. Okay, well, we can't criticise about the striker anymore because we've scored some goals. So let's have a criticise about the Mark Noble substitution. Look, we were 2-0 up at that point, and Moyes, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, can do what he wants. And yeah, I thought Noble played really, really well when he came on.
I thought Lanzini was average, to be honest with you. I don't think he had a good game. I don't think he had a bad game. Some good bits and some bad bits, but overall, I thought he was average. I thought it was a perfect substitution, actually. I would have taken Fernandez on for Lanzini, but for the same reason he brought Noble on. 2-0 up, shore the midfield up, and keep it comfortable for the remainder of the game. Just keep the ball, keep possession. That's all we had to do. It sort of stops Lingard and Jaded Boy. Not that they were having to come back much, but they're having to come back sometimes. But basically, you don't have to come back at all now because we've got 3 in centre midfield. We're going to win the battle in here. If there's any battle we have been losing, or Sheff Utd might have been getting the edge over us, it was in the middle of the park at times. And I thought Lanzini was playing deeper in the second half anyway. I thought he dropped back 5-10 yards to try and shore it up. So we've got an actual centre midfield. And I thought Mark Noble played well against Man United. I thought he'd come on against Fulham and played well against Fulham as well. So I thought, what's the problem here? I was surprised at the reaction on social media by the Mark Noble substitution. I thought it was the perfect sub, to be honest with you. And then, well, Jesse Lingard was keen to score a goal, weren't he? 20-odd shots or something he had. Some from distance, some from close up. We'll get on to his performance in a bit. You mentioned one of Fabianski's saves, but it wasn't just one, was it? In the end, there was 2 or 3 decent saves and one top-class one from that McGoldrick header that you alluded to.
I'm really pleased. I'm absolutely pleased. And there was one, and I thought of you when it happened. Actually, he made this. They crossed it over. It might have been a corner. It was either a corner or a cross. He came out. He caught it and he threw it out quickly. I'm like, my phone was on charge down there. Otherwise, I was going to text you say, "Yeah, how'd you like that?" Really nice. Really pleased to see him play so well, and we keep clean sheets quite a lot. It is, and you're going to have to give him some praise for that because look, he might not get man of the match today, but I'll tell you what, he will be in with a shout of it because look, Sheffield United didn't deserve a 3-3 in that game. Possibly we didn't deserve a 3-0, but without Fabianski playing like that game could have been a draw. I think had it been, we would at the end of it said, "Oh, that's not fair. That didn't feel." We would have felt like we'd have deserved victory, but it could have been a draw without him. And it was a pivotal point in the match on particularly 2 massive occasions in the second half.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. The saves he done was brilliant. I thought in the first half there was that corner they had that Dawson headed that Fabianski looked a little bit nervous for. I thought, oh no, now you've just given Sheffield United a bit of an in here. I think they tried to. The second half they were just crossing. I thought they must have got them in at half-time, said, look at their goalie, you don't like it. You don't like the crosses. They call them Fabianski Arsenal for a reason. Get the ball in that box and let's start winning it for headers. It's Fabianski. They said, well, I won't come for the crosses that much anymore. I'll steal my line. I'll just save them. I thought his saves were brilliant. That McGoldrick one was fantastic. Took a deflection. Another 2 got down low really quickly as well. Really good performance from Fabianski. And, a lot of games this season, he comes out when we do our player ratings on Patreon. Plug, if you want to become a patron, patreon.com/Ham Utd. Got player ratings coming up later. But when we do our player ratings, sometimes we sit here, we go Fabianski and we're like, 6? Didn't really see him, didn't do anything. Well, actually, the last couple of games now, he's been really busy. He's been tested a lot, and we're seeing the Fabianski of old. Again tonight, I thought he was an 8, 9 out of 10. Fantastic performance from him. Then we've got our third goal, Gonzo, right at the death there. Decent build-up play. I mean, Sheffield United giving up at this point, but decent goal by your mate, Ryan Fredericks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I thought the longer the game went on, the more open it became, particularly after that second goal. I didn't want to take my eyes off it. And normally, I'm sure it's the same for you, Gio, 10 minutes before the end of the game, I start getting the headphones plugged in and the light switched on and getting ready because I know we're going to do this. I don't want to take my eyes off it because the game was becoming more and more stretched. And we were really looking like we were gonna do things. As I say, Noble's substitution sort of liberated Rice and Souček as well. And obviously Bowen was still on there, and I was still thinking, Bowen may well get a goal because he'd been so busy and had been playing so well. Obviously Lingard came off, and seemed disappointed to do so, which is good. And then Ben Rama came on, and Ben Rama would have obviously been disappointed not to play today, but looked full of tricks and full of skill. And actually had that assist that he got for Fredericks. He'd almost had 3 attempts. That was his 3rd attempt at doing that, doing the step overs and the shimmies into the box. And something was going to come of it at some point. And Fredericks probably thought, what am I doing here? What am I doing in sort of left central midfield or wherever he might have found himself to be? I know he'd come on for Johnson, but that's the position he found himself in. Hello, I'll have a pop here, and finished it really well, really low, and keeper had no chance. A proper anyone in the team would have been well happy with that finish.
I'm about to say best shot of the game, actually. That finish by Fredericks, fantastic one. Anyway, full time 3-0. I think you were right. It didn't feel like a 3-0 win, but it was a comfortable one. It was very professional from us. I don't think we hit, I don't think we got out of second gear at some stage of that game. I thought it was a very comfortable performance by us, and it just sums Sheffield United up as well as us this week. It shows us from how good defensively we are, our set pieces card up the sleeve, but also summed up Sheffield United's season. A lot of huff, a lot of puff, create a couple of chances, but ultimately, at the end of the day, they're just not good enough. They just didn't have the quality that we had. They had a couple of players like Jesse Lingard, they would have scored at least one today, but they don't. They've got McBurney heading it, and then they had McGoldrick as well. They're just lacking that cutting edge all over the pitch, really. Their defence isn't quite good enough. In the first half, whenever we ran 3-on-3, there was a couple of occasions, it was 3-on-3. You can't defend like that in the Premier League. You can't allow your defenders to go 1-on-1 up against the attackers, and that's, in the end, that's why we got our pen, because we broke and we were outnumbering their defence. It was 0-0 at this point. It's just silly how you could how you can allow yourself to be like that as a Premier League club. And I know at some point they have to gamble and go for it to win, but not a 0-0, not in the 40th minute. You keep it tight then. You get in at half-time at 0-0 and you come up with a slightly different plan. But I thought we played really, really well. I thought David Moyes got his tactics spot on. He got his personnel spot on. He got his substitutions bang on as well. Tick, 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 tick from the gaffer tonight. But a really enjoyable game, Gonzo.
It was fun. It was great fun. As I say at the end, I didn't want it to end. I didn't want to. I was watching it. The reason I didn't want to set up all the equipment and everything, because I was thinking, if I do that, I'm going to miss a goal, and I would have been right. Honestly, I would have missed the Fredericks goal at the end. It felt like that, and it feels. We feel like a good team. It feels like we're organised. Like we know what we're doing. Well, you know what? Maybe we don't know what we're doing, but you know what? The manager does, and that's all that counts. And I feel like the manager feels like he knows what he's doing. So I'm willing to sort of when I'm watching a game, put my trust in him, even though I say at the start of the game, I know he should have got the pen, or maybe it was offside. But even though there were little things we weren't quite knitting together perfectly and creating a load of goal scoring opportunities. In fact, I thought when we scored at the end of the first half, we got much better in the second half. I thought when we scored in the first half, I thought, maybe this is one of those games where we don't play well, but we win. That we don't know. But actually, it wasn't that. Actually, we won convincingly, and we played some really enjoyable stuff. And I've got to say, I was really, enjoyable. I found it entertaining, and I found it really interesting to see what he was going to do with these players, and with Lanzini and Lingard and Bowen, and I was really just it was something new. It was something nice to watch, and we got to find out what was going on. I was just pleasantly surprised with how it all went. Really, really chuffed, mate. Really chuffed.
The good thing about it is this formation we've just played and the personnel we've just played. We can play this against the Sky Sports top 6. The Sky Sports top 6 is the games we've been struggling with to get results under David Moyes. Watching that tonight, I think actually the way we played, the counter-attacking aspect of the game and stuff, actually I think that would work against the sides that we have struggled against, really. And that's what I'm looking forward to. This is almost like a stepping stone from coming out the fixtures against the teams that we need to be beating, the teams that are below us in the league. We're now going into our running fixtures against teams in and around us in the league. Actually, that is suited for those games. I really like that one, actually. I'm feeling more confident for the Tottenham game now than I was before. And it's not because we won 3-0, it's because of the way we played going forward, if anything. Individual performance, take your pick. You've got 2 or 3.
There's lots, yeah. There are some nice ones. Okay, let's start with Bowen. I think let's start with Bowen. I was really pleased for him because he's not been in great form, and I thought it worked. I did. I thought it worked tonight. I was really delighted to see that, and particularly with his back to goal as well, which is not particularly his forte. And I'll tell you something, he won 3 headers against centre halves. The only surprise was that it was Lingard on 2 occasions, wasn't there to follow it in, because clearly Lingard didn't think he was going to be headers. Well, that's fine, Jesse, because I didn't think he was. I'm not even sure the centre back or Bowen thought he was either. But that's a really lovely, a good thing to see there. I will. Johnson as well. Just thought Johnson grew into the game. Second half was just delighted to see him. Look, he's probably not going to be a first choice for every game, right? He's not, but as a squad player, I feel he's matured into a squad player. And that pass he played, which I think was possibly to Lingard, a really good defence splitting 20-yard pass, curling along the ground. But there you go. Your confidence is coming now. And, clearly he's got a good engine. Clearly he's got ability. A couple of his crosses were hitting the first man, but that's okay. It's with his weaker foot, but also a couple of crosses were getting into the danger area as well. So I was watching him quite closely. Absolutely delighted to see that. You said 3. Allow me to do 4 because I've already spoken about Diop. You know what I thought about him. I just was, was really pleased to see that as the game went on. Goal aside, I would have said this without the goal, by the way. I thought he really grew into the game and sort of benefited from having some match time. So, maybe if we see him after 3 or 4 matches, he's going to carry on improving. So really pleased for him there. Obviously, we have to speak about Jesse Lingard, who was fantastic. And I love the way he looks as if he's going to stop running and then just runs again. And he seems to catch the defenders out, catches me out as well. I think he's about to stop, so clearly they do. And then he just runs. And Geo, there was one point where he picked up the ball in our half and he ran, and then he sort of stopped and he ran some more, and then he sort of ran a little bit more and he drove in and he won a corner. We were defending, and all of a sudden we had a corner. There's a lot to admire about him. His shooting was a little bit off today, but clearly he wanted to shoot. He's a really, really useful player. I think we saw the adrenaline against Villa. I think we saw the hangover against Fulham. And I think now we're seeing that is what we saw today with Jesse Lingard, 90% fit. I'm really excited for what we're going to see actually when he gets fully match fit and attuned to what the team and what David Moyes wants to do. I'm really looking forward to the last third of the season.
Craig Dawson was fantastic tonight. He had a big role, centre of the back 3. We know Creswell can play that role, but we know Creswell can play that role next to Ogbonna. The other side of him, he's got Diop, who we know can be clumsy, and we saw this early on in the first half. I thought he was clumsy on occasions and stuff. So Dawson had a big job in there, marshalling that back 3 around. 2 months ago, he wasn't even in the squad. He wasn't even on the bench. Now here he is, the first centre back on the team sheet, in charge of that back 3 probably. But he was brilliant. I thought whenever Sheff, he had a big job to do with Sheff United. They were targeting Ari Creswell's height or lack of with the crosses. He had to keep an eye on Ari Creswell. He had to make sure that he doesn't leave Aaron Creswell there isolated. We saw every time we played Burnley, it seems with a back 3, it seems that Chris Wood goes and stands next to Aaron Creswell, and there's almost like we allow that to happen a little bit too much. Sometimes we're all like, yeah, Aaron, you just mark Chris Wood there a little bit. I don't think Craig Dawson that type of defender. I think Craig Dawson's like, actually, hang on a minute, Aaron, let me come over there, and someone's going to have to come in and mark my guy because I'm going to help Aaron Creswell out on this occasion. And I thought Craig Dawson was superb off the ball as well as on it. I thought Ben Johnson too. I thought it's a big ask, a lot of pressure coming in, because I'd almost forgive him for feeling that Moyes has changed formation because of his form to some extent. If he is that reason, probably not, but it would have been one of the plus points for changing information. Can we switch to 3 back? Well, we've got Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson can go at left wing back. We're okay with this. I could understand if he sort of struggled a little bit or anything like that, but there was 4 wing backs on the pitch tonight. He was the best one.
Yeah.
he was better than Sufal, he was better than Bogle, and he was better than Endler Stevens. Now, Endler Stevens has been superb at left wing back for them last season. He is been playing that role for years under Chris Wilder. Bogle's been playing as a wing back. Sufal, we discussed it before, he's not naturally left wing back, but he's decent at it. He's a very, very good right back. Ben Johnson should have been the weaker of the four tonight, going by paper, the experience. He's playing on the wrong side of the pitch, but actually, I thought he was the best one of the four. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I'll leave my man in match, but it's good for Fabianski as well. I thought his distribution was slightly better tonight. He did the throw, he did a couple of short goal kicks as well. Got tested early on with that corner. A lot of keepers would have got rattled from it, but he did, and he just kept going, just got better and better. Superb performance. Can I get your final thoughts and then your man in match, please?
Yeah, I can't really say any more than I've said, mate. Absolutely delighted with that. Thrilled. That's feel like it's have a good week ahead of us now. And what this does is it allows you to enjoy the week, and it allows you to look forward to the next game. If you're so inclined, I'm sure there's something to whinge about if you want to. But this is good. This is really good, and I'm absolutely delighted. There's so much to. This is what it's all about. You spend a week picking your team for the next game, and should such and such come in, and But I think what this has done today is there were a lot of questions about what Moyes would do without a striker. Look, hopefully Antonio's available for the next game, but at least we now know the uncertainty is gone. What's Moyes going to do with no striker fit? Well, that basically, and for what we saw, that weren't too bad at all. Man of the match is going to be Jesse Lingard because he was just like a force of nature today, I thought.
Even if Mikel Antonio is fit, don't know if I'd change it. Even Antonio was 100% for Spurs. I'm not sure I'll change it. We'll discuss it in the preview. I might change my mind by the time we get to preview. But when you said that, my initial reaction was I still wouldn't change it, actually, because what I saw tonight worked with the personnel on the pitch. I thought we were brilliant. Moyes got his tactics spot on tonight. It was a big test tonight because our form hasn't been patchy. Maybe our performances have been. The point at Fulham felt disappointing. We got out of the cup and stuff, and a win tonight sort of pushed all that into the past. Now we focus on tonight and we go forward. And I'm buzzing for Sunday now. I'm really excited to go play Tottenham. I want to play Tottenham tomorrow night because I feel even more confident about playing. I am really confident playing them because everything we are, they are not right now. They look unsteady. They look a bit of a mess. The manager doesn't know what he's doing. Actually, our manager knows what he's doing. We look steady, Eddie. We look confident. We're happy. We're composed. It was a brilliant performance tonight. A very, very professional performance. My man, Matt's Jesse Lingard. I think he's becoming a key player already for us. It's only 3 appearances in. And when I know this won't go down well with the Ben Rama fan club, but when people say, why isn't Ben Rama starting? Well, actually, Jesse Lingard done it in 3 games as to what we had to wait 10 games or something for Ben Rama to even sniff at. This is what Ben Rama has to do. This is the standard that you have to produce in order to get into David Moyes' first team like that. And the differences of the 2 players are massive. You can tell which player, if you showed that game tonight to people, aliens, and said which players played for Man United umpteen times and got 28 caps and stuff, you would pick out Jesse Lingard. There would be no hesitation. You could say him. You can tell. He plays well against Aston Villa. We won comfortably. We won well. He played well tonight. We won comfortably. He's played well. He didn't play well against Fulham. We were crap going forward. Our whole attacking just disappeared completely and just shows how important he is already, how good a player he is. He's a joy to watch. And I don't know if you were talking about the same one or a slightly different one, but when he got outside our box, he shrugged someone off, ran up, and then he won the free kick that Declan Rice shot from and stuff. That's just incredible. So when you play this formation, when you play as defensive as David Moyes, you need players that can travel with the ball. You need a player that can get the ball and run 30 yards and either get a throw in or get a free kick or do something. And that's what he done. And people like that is just pivotal to David Moyes. I thought it was just a superb performance by Jesse Lingard. An absolute joy to watch. And I liked the fact he kept shooting. Some of them were 25, 30 yards out. Easy saves from Ramsdale. Something good. That's what we lack at West Ham sometimes. He was pushing them out for corners. We were getting corners from nothing off Jesse Lingard shooting from distance. And that was a crap goalkeeper. So we decided to test him tonight a little bit. I want to see that more of that going forward. We play a goalie, Hugo Lloris, who's had an absolute stinker at the weekend. I want to see more of Jesse Lingard just firing in shots from all angles, because it means that next time he comes forward 30 yards out, you've got a committed defender. A centre back has to go out to Jesse Lingard because he's going to shoot. You stand and keep your position, I'll shoot. You come out, you leave a massive gap for one of my teammates to run into. Fantastic from Jesse Lingard tonight. Unbelievable performance. And I just wish he got his goal, really. Anything else you'd like to add?
No. We got our player ratings to do, which I'm looking forward to, because they won't be any 2 out of 10s today, I think.
Plug! If you'd like to support the channel, go to patreon.com/HammerChat. Links in the description. You can support the channel from £3 plus VAT, so £3.60 per month gets your Patreon podcast every week, plus a player ratings for every single game, which means guns are off to record. If you enjoyed this review, please drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll be back at the end of this week with our preview for the Tottenham game. And I can't wait, Gonzo. Right, I'll see you in 2 minutes.
You will.